We'll have another go because the live stream stopped. Obviously the connection wasn't so good. Anyway, so we're going to talk about the miraculous and amazing nature of your body. Miss Sugar agrees. She's sitting in the back just taking it all in. So the latest science that I'm following and keeping up to date with is showing what natural medicine and traditional medicine has understood for thousands of years, that the body is remarkable. It is very much part of the whole environment, that it's not separate from it, that we are all, let's say, interdependent, and that our body is just this extraordinary healing machine. And what a physician's job would be is to facilitate the body to heal itself. Not so much get in the way, but actually, you could say, switch the right processes on that help the body to find its way to healing. And that's a very classical chiropractic approach, that we free the body to heal itself. So sadly, chiropractic has veered off into a mechanical paradigm where we just see ourselves as the mover of bones for back pain, and that will have outcomes that are very beneficial, but if you don't measure them, you don't know they're happening. So the rather extraordinary latest stuff that is coming out of the intricacies of clever science, which is often to do with new tools that allow us to see what was previously a little unseen. So I love the concept that when Lowenhoek, who was the father, you could say, of microbiology, now he actually ground a lens that allowed him to magnify pond water and see animalcules, he called them, so microbugs and small little things, bacteria, micro things, micro beings that actually weren't visible to naked eye. So suddenly things were seen that previously existed but actually were just unseen. Quantum physics would also say that when it's observed, it changes it. That's actually what we see when we look at an electron, look at an atom and view it. The electron field changes to when it's not being viewed. It's like when you look at the dog, she's doing different things to when you're not looking. The Larson cartoon where the cows are standing up until the lookout says car, and they all get on their four legs and eat grass. I've got a weird brain, so that's just part of what makes me interesting. So what they're confirming and seeing, and this is not entirely brand new, but we're talking in the last few years, that the gut flora, which is so abundantly diverse, if you think you're on top of it with two or three strand probiotic, you really are sort of just saying there's only two languages spoken on earth. There are just an abundance of hundreds of thousands, millions of bacteria varieties in our gut, and basically they are what keep us living. So any idea that germs are here to kill us is a really flawed premise, and the Pasteur's concept that bugs were the things that made us sick, he really later said no, the bugs actually keep us alive, but imbalance and actually a host that actually has lost its balance, so us when we're sort of stressed or eating the wrong diet, we create an environment that creates imbalance. Now the body will often then do stuff to try and rectify the system, which often shows up as sickness. So there's certainly a role for modern intervention when you're losing the battle, the bugs are overwhelming you, and your system's so weak it can't get back on track, then thank the Lord for an intravenous IV antibiotic. It is the sort of thing that can stop you from dying. However, in the normal course of events, the bugs are actually working as well as they can to help you. So one of the really interesting things, which relates back to one of the blogs I did recently around breast cancer, was actually seeing that in an advanced tumour there were methylated bacteria which actually were thought to be the cause of, suddenly thought, oh, that's why they've caused the tumour. But what they found when they looked at the healthy breast tissue, it was they were non-methylated particles. But when they looked at the very advanced stage 4 tumour, the breast tissue was sterile. And so the hypothesis is that the methylation was there to actually create an environment that could help the body repair itself. But if we keep adding fuel to the fire, keep the system suppressed, don't do things that boost wellness, boost vitality, boost the body's ability to heal itself, eventually it will lose the battle, because it's actually now we've just punctured the boat in too many places, so it will sink. And I'm just loving, and it's so exciting, that we really have this extraordinary orchestrated micro bug environment that the body actually will send viruses to the brain to repair brain injury. It's like things that we just basically have no comprehension of, because we've looked at it through a particular prism which says that bugs are bad, so we have to create a sterile environment. And when we create sterility, it actually means that we've now got health. And yet we actually know that one of the reasons that people with an obsessive compulsive hand washing behavior get hideous dermatitis is because they stop that fine protective layer of bugs on the skin that keeps it healthy. They wash it off. So in their desire to keep the bugs away, they actually do exactly that, but then the skin just breaks down, because without that layer of a diverse range of microbiology on the skin, it won't be healthy. So it's fascinating. We've moved from swabbing new babies with hexachlorophane to make them clean, which we discovered made them extremely unhealthy, to actually now, after a C-section, they're infusing the baby with the mother's mucum that it would have swallowed and ingested during labour. So the longer the labour, the better it is for the baby. It has more time to be in that vaginal mucosa, and that is what populates that baby's gut and immune system to trigger it for birth, so it actually comes out with a head start. It's just, our brilliance is our stupidity at times. We think we're so clever we can actually be cleverer than the system that's operated so exquisitely to date that, we have to now fix it by getting in the way of it. We fix it possibly by getting out of the way and lightening our footprint and assisting the natural systems to work optimally. And some of the very clever technology is about optimizing that. And as long as we keep a broad integrative focus, we don't create a distortion somewhere else by just using one lever, like the central banks using interest rates as a solution, but it just creates weird other distortions that create the next calamity. So more blogs to write. Keep an eye on the space. It's an exciting time ahead. Okay, speak to you soon. Bye.